right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Spectator Mode Podcast. You're joined by the Outerhaven crew, and this time we have a lovely set of people with us. We're joined by Ryan Yuan, which am I pronouncing your name right? Because I always say Yuan, but it's not Yuan, is it?
It's Ewan.
It's Yuan.
Okay. It depends on who you ask.
Depends who you ask. Yeah. As someone who's a French descendant, I always have to add a little accent to the names. We're joined by Keith Mitchell, who is now old enough to wear a Nike jersey, and we're joined by Sif Scott, who has probably played too much RPGs. And myself, Getsilius. We are Spectator Mode episode 214, boys. We are in for a good one. We have some excellent topics to talk about. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the Outerhaven YouTube page for more great content such as this, and check us out on other social media, which we'll mention later in the podcast. So, my fellow gentlemen, before we start any podcast, let's talk about a couple of games we have been playing lately. And I'm going to start with the returning host, jokingly, but the return of Ryan. Why don't you start with a couple of games you have been playing, and try to limit it to less than 3 if you can.
I'm gonna be real. I have only been playing one game and one game only. Super Battle Golf.
I love that game. If I had more friends, I would play that. That game it's not golf at all. It's actually Super Battle. The golf is just added to it.
I am in my friend swap era right now, so I've basically just been doing nothing but finding games to just play with the homies. So Super Battle Golf is top of that lineup right now. And my God, it is a silly, degenerate game. You're just like blocking the shots, hitting your own friends and using them as a golf ball. My God, it is a hilarious game. And if you need something to do to just shit around and just goof off with people, definitely recommend.
That's true, and I'm sorry to say that, but one of the things I do dislike, though, is I hate the term friend swap, because all multiplayer games are made. So I think it's just a good game to play with friends. If you play it once, you play it 1,000 times, it's just fun. I just think that I'm not a fan of the term, because I've always encouraged people to play more games with people. Also, if anybody you guys have Slay Aspire 2, I want to try that multiplayer, hit me up with that, okay?
Well,
all right, so Keith, what have you been up to this lovely time?
So I've been playing a lot of Marathon because we have to do our review. And for those who've been paying attention to Marathon, the Cryo Archive opened up today.
Yeah, today.
So I'm going to try and get enough gear and a decent squad so I can go in and play that. And hopefully not get demolished the first 4 or 5 minutes that I'm in there. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. And I've also been playing, I'm not going to say NDA because I can't say anymore. I went back and dug through a lot of old games. I saw a list a couple of days ago about best Mario games. And of course, number one is Super Mario World, which should be for no reason. And I was like, you know what? I haven't played that game in decades. So I'm playing that again. It still holds up. Such an amazing game. One of Nintendo's best games ever.
That's interesting to hear. But the best part about Mario games is just pick one, you can't go wrong. And unless it's Mario Party and you're just trying to end a friendship there, you know what you're doing.
But Mario is missing.
Mario is missing. Okay, I'm going to be silent. Mario missing is fun if you are a fan of detective narrative games. As a point-and-click clicker guy, that is my jam. I would play Mario is Missing.
That's the Mario game. That's your favorite.
What about Mario? What about Mario teaches typing?
I didn't learn this English voice until I got a certain age. So Mario me typing will remind me that I can speak English.
What about the CDI game, Hotel Mario?
I haven't played that one yet, but I will if someone has a touch. If it's on the M-DOS box, just for the hell of it.
It was for the that ill-fated CDI console. So
if somebody has that in a playable format that Nintendo won't come from my computer for, I will take it. That's legal as that.
You probably don't want to play that, but I just had to bring them up because they do exist. But just
I didn't even know those existed, man. I'm learning every day.
It'd be up there. Learn something new every day. And speaking of learning something new every day, Scott, what have you been up to?
Alrighty. So first off, I too have been playing a lot of Marathon.
Without me?
Mainly, I have only been playing with you, to be honest.
Okay. I didn't say without me. What?
I don't like playing multiplayer games unless I have people I'm playing with. I'm not a person that likes to solo a lot. So I'm not nearly as far in my gear collection as other people because of that.
You mean you don't like playing randoms who don't talk in chat, and then they do talk after everybody's dead, and they go, "You suck," and it's like, why weren't you talking during the game?
That's exactly the problem I have with randoms. Is
So you
they are
guys been
not good
playing
at
more?
communication.
Wait, so you guys been playing Marvel Rivals? That happened all the time. Marvel Rivals. I get all the slurs post match. It's never in mid match anymore. Just post match slurs. It's fantastic.
It's so bad. It's like you could have called this out before, guy, and maybe you would have had a better chance. But no, that's not happening because for those who have not played Marathon and you start to play it right now, forget the French words. You're going to get your ass kicked in because everybody's playing with the high power weapons now that they can afford and the sniper rifles, and they hit you from across the map.
I believe the meta is the hand cannon, sniper, and I forgot which hand cannon, hand sniper, and machine gun.
It's not even hand cannon. It's the heavy
sniper,
machine gun.
Heavy machine gun and sniper. Rifle. Yeah. I've only seen some people still do it, such as like streamer putting clips that they still use it. But all I know is that welcome to Destiny hell. That's kind of I'll leave that later.
I mean, I really enjoyed using the railgun. That was always fun.
I have one of those. It will stay in my bag. I'm never using it. It's staying there.
I only had one, and then I got a second, so I brought one with me. But they're fun. The only problem is the ammo is so hard to find for the railguns because getting like rail ammo is like nowhere. You can get all the other ammo and like ammo crates that you can just use constantly, but like the railguns, you have to find specific like loot and like crates or ammo crates. And they're not very easy to get.
Nope. But
I will admit that it was really fun to actually play until I realized I used like 10 of my 15 rail bullets I only had. I'm just going to keep that 5 until I find more railguns. But yeah, so Marathon it's fun with friends, but I think it's one of those multiplayer things where randos usually suck when it comes to team-based games.
I mean, that's honestly my philosophy for a lot of multiplayer games in general. Like, I deal with that stuff for like Night Rain. I deal with that stuff for Marvel Rivals. Dealt with that stuff for Mecha Break. And I'm just like, I am sick of this terrible coordination, and I am sick of no one communicating. So my policy now is just only friends, only mutuals. And that's it. Otherwise, we're going to have a terrible time.
Or you pick the Rook and try to harass everybody.
Choose the Rook to be the soloer and just mess with everybody at the end of them waiting for their exfil.
The sad part is that because of Marvel Rivals, off tangent, I have 2 accounts. One account that I solo grind to hit like GM and above, and that's the account I use Sweaty. But I have one account that I have all of my skins that I purchased or whatever put into it, and I play that with friends because that account, that goal, I hit gold to get the free skin. I don't touch it after that because I want to play the game with my friends. If I want to get Sweaty, I have an account for that. That's it. That's what I recommend to people.
I think that's fair. I used to do that for Overwatch, but then I stopped playing Overwatch. The next game that I played was Etrange Overlord. So it's made by the creators of Disgaea. It is an action RPG, and it's all basically a bunch of team-based where you want to make sure you have like a tank, healer, fighter, and whatever else you can find for a 4th. Usually just get a gunner. And you basically are trying to do a bunch of different objectives as you're trying to take over hell, basically.
Sounds fun.
That sounds super fun.
Your person dies because they get accused of something they didn't do, and apparently hell is really bad at actually managing stuff. So whatever they say in the real world is what happens to you in the afterlife. So if they tell you did a crime, even if you're false, you just go to hell anyways. And so the main character takes that personally. It's just like, I will make it everybody's problem. And so it's very funny. It's very absurdist. It has all the Disgaea humor that you can imagine. So I do think that if somebody who likes like the Disgaea humor and the stories that like the creators of Disgaea make, then this is definitely a game that you'd be interested in. And then the final game is one that's not as fun for me, which is I played through a little bit of the 7 Deadly Sins Origins game that just came out this week. It's a gotcha 7 Deadly Sins game. I thought it was going to be really good because I really like the Grand Cross game that Netmarble does. So when I thought, they're doing now an action RPG open world with 7 Deadly Sins and just basically doing it as a sequel to, basically it's a sequel to the anime, but it's also like a sequel to their actual game too, because Deadly Grand Cross ends at the anime, but it also has like a bunch of after stuff that's not a part of the anime or the manga. They just added extra like game canon, which is kind of fun. But anyways, Origins is not as good as I was hoping it was going to be. It has a lot of resource problems. It has a lot of problems in terms of what you actually do in the game. And there is still a lot of bugs and glitches and things that happened. I went to like view a book on like a shelf just to see what it said. And then my character went to the shelf and then went into the shelf.
Oh.
And then my camera was inside the building, even though my character was like on the shelf. So I tried to do like, there's an unstuck command, and I unstuck my character, but my view was still on the shelf. So I could move my character around, but the camera was still there.
That's like some level. That's like vanilla, like cyberpunk levels of glitchy, dude.
Yeah, it was terrible. I streamed this the whole time because I was super excited because I'm a big gacha like game fan. So I like a lot of these free to play games and how like they improve the medium, so to speak. And I was like, okay, so let's see how this goes. And yeah, no, it's still super rough. And apparently that the latest update they just put today is even worse because they removed they added more bugs and glitches with their update rather than removed bugs and glitches with the update.
The funny thing is, I was watching you play it live, and I was just genuinely confused because I'm aware of the Seven Deadly Sins series, and I thought this wasn't at first I thought this was one of the older games, like the ARPG one, but it's like no, this was the new mobile game that was being pushed. I was like, oh my god, I'm like this, like I don't know what happened. And by the way, for all those people who say Arknights is booty, I implore you to play this, okay? Arknights Enfield is not. Look, Arknight Enfield may not be quote unquote gambling hell, but this game, oh my god! Like I think it was a part of the game where you got stuck mid combo. Your character did a T pose, but he was like stuck in pose. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. That part of the stream, it was crazy. So I was like, I don't.
Yeah,
this game is rough.
It is rough, and it kind of sucks that it's rough because Netmarble has been doing so much with the Seven Deadly Sins like mobile games that I thought they actually figured things out. Because things I'd always like to say is Grand Cross is the best way to experience the story of the anime because the anime absolutely sucks after the first season. It starts off pretty high, and then the season 2 happens, and it kind of just falls off a cliff. And then season 3 happens, you're like, oh, maybe they got better, and they somehow still got worse, and you're just like,
it got
who's
worse.
working on this over there?
The animation studio was changed. It was like, what the hell happened here? It was terrible.
So I was like, yeah, if you want to experience the story of Seven Deadly Sins, just go to Grand Cross. And if you get to like a hard mission, just find a friend who's level 100 and just bring one of their characters to solo the hard mission for you. I was in the trenches of Grand Cross when we only had like level 50 characters as the max, and we had to fight like a level 80, like what's his face, Dreyfus, and it was terrible. You only were able to basically beat him if you had like the maxed out actual pulled Meliodas character, because he had like a big counter system, and the only way to actually beat him was to use a counter and reflect like a strategy that you could barely only speed him with, and it was rough. But it was possible. Nowadays it's super easy though, because characters get up to level 100 and you can actually even like legendary awaken them, and you can even get like free legendary awakened characters now, so it's like not even that big of a deal to get to that. But anyways, yeah, no, Grand Cross is the best way to experience the anime still, in my opinion.
Duly noted.
Those are my 3 games for this week.
That sounds I would say a lot and fantastic, but I would say politely just play Arknight Enfield. I'm not saying I'm sponsored by them, but it is one of the games I did play this week a lot of. I was blessed with the gods of RNG only on my 30 pull. That's right, my 310 pulls. I got Tong Tongs. Therefore, the game's playable again. This is not the worst. It's not the worst gacha game of all time. I got Tong Tong. The rest of you guys, good luck. So we winning out here. Oh, there we go. Yeah. So I've been playing a lot of that.
Tong Tong.
No, you need to pray in the altar of the Supreme Chief. But I've been playing a lot of that. They had an update where they added more of the Wu Ling arc. This time you're getting Quimbo's Arcade, which is Tong Kong's story. I definitely feel like this storyline is written way better than the Valley 4 storyline, so that's an improvement. Recommend checking that out. I have not gotten to the base campment doing stuff for Wu Ling, but I'll leave that part as it is. So I've been playing a lot of Arknights Enfield. I've been playing a lot of Slay the Spire 2. I have a 65% win rate plus at the moment with rotating characters. I'm currently on a 5-game win streak. I am addicted to card games and numbers. Please don't ask me how I figure this stuff out. I have now principally can tell you the best archetype for every character in the game, except for the Necrobinder, because I need to grind and figure that part out. But every archetype else I can tell you. Don't ask how I know that. It's over for me. Cards, it's over. So those two have been playing a lot. And then I could openly say as a side excursion, I've only played a little bit of Rivals so I can get my free skin for the season because I didn't care. So I can get my free skins even for last season, but don't care about that. What I've really been doing is getting deadlocked in. And I finally found out my 4 characters I made in that game. Abrahams, who are jokingly called NFL because he tackles you. McGinnis, who is just a war criminal, but at least her guns are cool. Graves, the hipster, and Paige, the support character. That's it. Everyone else, I don't care for. But yeah, I've been deadlocking in. I'm getting better at the game. I understand it. It's just it's really, really fun. I can't describe it enough. If you want to get into the game, there's tons of ways to get into it. You can hit me up, and I will give you access and add you, and then you can get in the game if you need to play. It's really fun. Better than some other shooters out there, at least in my opinion. But anyway, I got deadlocked in. Those are I've been deadlocking it. I have been Slay the Spire 2 addiction, and I got Tong Tong and Arc Knight Enfield. Therefore, the game is good. No, the game was bad before, but now that I got Tong Tong, me particularly, great experience. So yeah, that's what we've been up to. Now we got that out of the way. Let's try to get into some really cool topics of the game we got to discuss about now. And I want to get into, I guess, the game that came out this week that has been so, I want to say controversial. People don't know how to approach it. And that game is
polarizing.
Polarizing. I don't even say polarizing. I don't even think people know how to talk about it because it's not polarizing, because it's it just shows when, and that game we're talking about is Krypton says, you have people who say this game is utter slop and then didn't figure out the rest of the game. And you have people who praise it because they know how to play the game in one particular way they want. So it's it's one of those things that I use as a litmus test, oh, you're not somebody I could trust seriously, whatever. It's just crazy. What is causing this vast gulf of Crimson Desert outside the people being grifters, of course? Why don't you take it away, Keith?
So I'm not here to tell people that they're wrong for not liking a game or they're wrong for liking a game, because everybody has their own opinions, and what might be a good game for me may not be a good game for you. Lord knows I've been this enough with the Souls-like, so I know how this works. It just seems like that this game, Crimson Desert, is one of the games where people had such lofty expectations for, and when it didn't reach its expectations, they automatically decide, oh, this game is terrible, or it got a 7 or an 8. It's not the fantastic game of the year, or it's boring. And to that, I do have a couple of things to say. So I do apologize if I come off for being a jerk, because I am very frustrated about this topic. There are a lot of people, either influencers or journalists or people in between, I don't know what the hell they call you guys, sorry, that have been talking about...
You can say frauds, that's what it's say, because if you don't...
we'll call them frauds, or grifters. They've been talking about this game, and first of all, you haven't played the game. And if you have played the game, you played less than an hour. Now, I've been told, I haven't played the game yet, but I've talked to multiple people who have played this game for hundreds of hours, including our own Jordan and Fighting Cowboy, and they've loved the game for what it does. And they both mentioned in their reviews, it does take a while for the game to start heating up, for you to start getting involved into the game. Now, there are some people that said, hey, the story sucks. All right, that's true. Story might suck, but a lot of people play this game just for what the game offers. When I play a Souls-like game, I don't give a damn about the story. I just care about, can I mess things up? How can I mess things up? Wow, this cap looks amazing. Wow, this air looks good. Wow, that is a fucking amazing sword. I don't care about the story. Well, for one exception, being Elden Ring. I really did like Elden Ring story. Or the Souls-like game I played, I was like, I don't care about this. But so I can understand. I'll give you that. But when people are sitting on a game because, oh, this game has a puzzle and I can't beat this puzzle. I played this game. This puzzle took me 20 hours to beat. Everybody plays the game differently. But on the opposite side of that, you've got people like one person who I won't name when I have a problem with him because he mobilized his audience I'm sorry, he didn't mobilize the audience. He weaponized his audience. And I watched his stream.
And this person was one of the leading causes spreading misinformation. And it's Keith, you get more into it, but I'm going to say this before I let you get into it. I think the disgusting part about it is that, like, disliking something is fine. He'll get for what he did about it. I think it crosses the line.
So this person was talking about the game, and he basically called out game journalists for sucking. There's no way to get around it. He basically said, if they can't give you the games, they can't solve the puzzles, they basically sucks. I'm paraphrasing here. And he took so much grief for that he had to come back and clarify what he meant, because he realized, I said some dumb shit and it made people mad. And when I saw it, it made me mad. Now, I'll be 100% honest here. There are some journalists out there, as well as influencers, who either aren't good at games, or they get upset because they're not good at games, and then they start blowing up the game, saying the game is trash. When you don't give the game ample time to become, all right, this might have a great thing, but it takes me a while to get to it. Or you suck at the game and you can't admit that you suck at the game, so automatically the game's at fault. Lord knows we've seen enough of this. Elden Ring came out. Everything came out and it's like, this game sucks because I can't beat this boss, man. I can't get around this earth. Maybe that's a you problem. But then he comes out and he's basically saying that, this is how game journalists are, and you got people in chat going, yeah, they suck at these games. They can't beat Souls like they can't do this and this. And I'm going, first of all, wait, that's not fair. That is not a fair representation of the people out here who are busting their ass, playing these games, doing guides, making videos. And at the same time, you have big companies like IGN, and I'm not saying they're responsible for this instance, where they throw people into a game, say, play this game, review this game, and it may not be their jam. Play this racing game. I have never played a racing game in my life. You want me to play this?
The sap on it too is also, like, in my opinion, in those situations, poor work management, where you tell somebody who's not skilled in a certain game genre, like, for all intents and purposes, Keith, I don't think you should review a gacha game, but we give you a gacha game and you have to review the gacha game in a week. How will you be able to think exactly?
Now, I'm not saying that it's not possible, but for most of the time this happens, a person goes, well, I've never played this game before. I need to figure it out. And you're like, no, play it. And then bad stuff happens. But sometimes good thing happens. They come out and go, wow, this is amazing. I love this now. Or they go, I told you not to let me play this game. But getting back to this, so I watched his entire stream just go ham on journalists, not specific journalists, all journalists. So he had to come back and basically walk back some of what he said. Not all of it, but some of what he said, because he realized what he said was wrong. And I'm sitting here and I'm frustrated, because every time I see somebody do this, especially somebody who has massive numbers, who should know better, it pisses me off, because I look at myself and I go, okay, great. I'm not Greg Miller or whoever else it is, or this person that you know and love and respect because they have a bazillion followers. No, I'm not. But I respect the game. I love what I do. I respect the people who do this work. And I'm in here. I'm doing this. I busted the last 12 years or so, getting to the point where I can review a game in a meaningful, and I can articulate exactly what I'm trying to say. And when people come out and say stuff like that, it makes me mad. And it's like, that's so much bullshit. And it's like, oh, these guys can't play these games. They probably suck at these games. And I'm like, I beat Elden Ring when it came out faster than most people beat the game. I wrote guides for it. I made videos for it. I beat Elden Ring. What was it? I lost one ring. What was the second the DLC? I'm so lost right now.
You beat it within 96 hours. Yeah, you beat it within 96 hours. Yeah.
Within 2 fucking days. 2 days. And I was at PAX and came back.
Yep. I was there, so I can confirm that. Yeah.
What are you talking about? What?
I think the problem is that they're trying to secure that they're not real gamers as, like, a body check. But, like, I've only used the "you're not a real gamer" based on how you articulate about games. Like, my thing is, and Scott knows this too, even Ryan knows as well, they may have run into a fan of a certain genre, but they can't articulate anything about it, but they consume everything of it. If that's where my line draws. Like, if you say you played every Resident Evil game, but you can't articulate what makes a good Resident Evil game, and you're just going by the vibes, I don't think I could trust your opinion, even if you play them all. I'm just saying. That's just an easy way to discourage. I think what made this person, in my opinion, a bad person at POS was that they themselves were not qualified to say so. And even though this game has some polarization of it, I'll give you my hot take. Very much so. I don't like the game. I think the game is meh to me. I can understand from open world experience, I can see why it's fun, people like it, but I'm more looking for, me personally, a more finite experience. But I do appreciate the amount of content the game has and how well it expresses itself doing so. I do think that the game having very little to no handholding, you figure it out, is a harken to older games I used to play and like. So I respect that much. But to say journalism to play the game is like saying, what are you expecting to play? You can play that game. I've seen people started doing challenges, posting it on Twitter and Blue Sky, of no damage challenges where they're not fighting, they're living like a farm life. You see people do bounty hunter challenges where they go getting every bounty in the game. I've seen people so far says only exploration, where they just only do exploration. So I think that's a cool thing. People can express and play the game that way. Do I think that's the best way? I wouldn't know. Are we trying to optimize a game we don't know? You're being weird. I mean that quite seriously. Some games just can't be optimized. Quote unquote optimized.
To get back to it, because I don't want to harp on this too long. The problem that I have, and not just with him, is when people take things like this, and not just Crimson Desert, when they take things that are like the latest game or the biggest game or the games that are going to be very polarizing, and they go, these people suck at these games. This is why you shouldn't trust these game journalists. This is why they shouldn't be looked at. This is why they shouldn't be able to review these games. This is why they're terrible. And it's like, this is why people shouldn't watch or listen to people like you, because you have an agenda, and your agenda is to make people look bad. So people look at you and go, you're the best.
Right. Because he's trying to defer power to himself. Exactly.
It's wrong for you to go do that. Even if you come out and point out specific people and say, these people are terrible, it's still not a cool thing to do. You should be better than that. But you choose to use your position and just dunk on people, or try to dunk on people, because apparently it didn't work too well, because people started dunking on you and you had to walk back some of what you said.
Yeah, people found out that this said person was not great at their own reviews, or had horrible takes, or even takes worse than the people he claimed to be journalists. So again, my thing is that if you dislike someone's opinion, attack the opinion, not the person. There are tons of people's opinions that I like, or you like, or she like, dislike. Attack the opinion. Like, here's an opinion that I dislike. I dislike the idea that people saying that I'm a Deadlock guy. Deadlock's a hard game to play. It's not really. It's a game that, obviously all games are hard to play, but this game's not that hard compared to the games they copied from. Again, but that opinion I don't like, but am I going to attack? Oh, let me attack, Twitter user X345. You can't say that. You don't play the game. At that point, what are we doing? We're not doing anything.
To close this out, if you listen to this, if you're the person who listens to this and you want to say something to me, I would love to have a conversation with you about that, because honestly, the way you approached this was wrong, completely wrong, and you should know better. 2, for people to start dunking on the game that they haven't even played, like, what the hell? You haven't played it. That's like my wife saying, I don't like Twizzlers because they're nasty. Have you tried them? There's a reason why I love them. And you should like Twizzlers as well. Or, there's also nothing wrong with the other one. What's the other one?
Vines?
Yes.
Oh, like the red vines, yeah.
I like those too. I like them better at straws, but I like them. But you can't start dunking on something or saying something is bad when you haven't played it. Now, there is a place where reviews do tell the entire story, but not where you have 75% of reviews going, this is a great game, and 25% going, this game is bad. Okay, there's something going on there. If you have 100% of reviews going, no, this is bad, don't touch it. Obviously, then people are on the same wavelength going, you probably shouldn't touch that. But when you have 30 to 40 different outlets and people talking about a game and it's split, you might need to do some investigation on your own.
Yeah, I mean, I think even for, like, let's say, like, bad reviews, for example, like you mentioned, everyone's got their own taste. Like, I know, like, I've been looking at a lot of, like, Crimson Desert reviews, and, like, for me, one of the things that I saw, like, that was very polarizing was, like, the combat. Some people were like, yo, this is the sickest combat system ever. Well, some were like, it's just a hack and slash. And for me, like as someone who's like very combat focused on the games they play, like I'm gonna read those reviews, even if someone gives it like a bad review and they say like, "Hey, the combat's sick as hell." Like, all right, great. But if someone who's not as into the combat like sees that, maybe they're gonna view it in a different perspective, and I think that's completely fine, you know?
Exactly. So again, don't use your audience to weaponize them against something, or at least don't do that against gaming journalists or people who are trying their best to do something. Now, if you know for a fact that journalist wrote an AI review, then yeah, please dunk on them. Expose them for
Please
everything.
target
because they
them.
deserve
Get
it.
rid of that.
That's a freebie. Speaking of which, The Earth Must Die is clearly an arena shooter. My favorite point and click game of 20 is just it's yeah. You have no idea. My mom, I think Keith saw me rage on Discord about it. I couldn't. I was like, a point and click adventure game. This is okay. I'm out of here. I give up. Speaking of things to give up on, the PC market is getting worse. Should we give up? Is it time to pack it up? Keith, let us know more details.
Time to get yourself a PlayStation 5 Pro. No.
Yeah, PlayStation 5 Pro. Yeah, it's totally time. The Steam Machine baby's gonna save us. But no, let us know. Let us more about that.
The amount of videos and articles and frustrations don't even begin to tell you the story. I, like many people, have been going to multiple stores weekly just to see how much the computer parts have risen, and it's so bad. Memory just
Continuous
keeps going
price
up.
rise.
Memory, 32 gigs of memory is like $400. 64 gigs of memory, depending on what it is, anywhere from $500 and above. If you're buying high-speed memory, 64 gigs, you're looking at anywhere from $900 above. I looked at memory that was $1,200, and it's just going up. And it's just like, this is bad. And I've talked to multiple people within Reddit. I've talked to people on multiple forums, and we all agree that the PC, if you wanted to get into PC gaming on the cheap, it's gone. It's just not happening. That ship has failed. When Valve is telling you that we're holding our Steam machine because it's expensive to get memory, it's expensive to get storage, and that they're going to release it this year, I don't think it's on them. But it's not going to be cheap now. It wasn't going to be cheap from the beginning, but it's not going to be cheap now. When you just got to go buy a motherboard, some memory, a processor, a case, and some storage, and get a pretty decent PC for around $600 to $700, you're spending that money right there on memory alone. I literally priced out how much it would cost me to add a new cluster to my Proxmox virtualization. I'm an IT dork, geek, nerd. Sorry. To add to my cluster for learning. And buying the actual machine itself, bare bones, was like $600. Fine. That's pretty expensive for pretty cheap for what it is. But then I looked at the memory. For me to buy 64 gigs of DDR5 SODIMM memory, which is basically for laptops and whatnot, it was $700. I was spending more on the memory than the computer. What? And let's not forget that CPUs are also going up. If you wanted to get an RTX 5090 or 5080, those things are jumping up. The 5090s are above $3,000, depending on where you want to go. Other ones are hard to find. 5070s are getting spares. AMD's cards are getting spares, and the prices keep going up. So PC gaming right now, unless you can find a deal, really sucks. And I don't see it coming back. I don't see it going back to where it was. And even after this AI data center companies' greed nonsense goes away, the companies will still be greedy and go, well, they bought it for this much money. We're going to keep it this much money. I don't see the prices going down. I don't see PC gaming coming back to where it was. Obviously, pre-builts are still going to be decently priced because they bought a crap ton of stuff and they built their machines and whatever. But once they run out of the parts that they purchased, they're going to have to pay the extra money to get these things, and they're going to pass the buck onto their consumers, which means either they can buy the parts and sell the parts to people who want to buy them, or they go out of business because people aren't buying their stuff anymore.
Yeah, it's always easy for a price to go up. It's never easy for a price to go down.
It's really tragic because honestly, I feel like this becomes a more frequent topic on the podcast, and we keep writing more articles about this, like at a more frequent way. And it's like, oh no, it just keeps getting worse. It just keeps getting worse.
It just keeps getting worse.
You know, the sad part about this is that I remember Keith telling me when I finally saved enough money to not gamble on DraftKings. And I mean, it's probably like, please don't gamble your money. Don't gamble. I saved enough money. I was like, should I buy a PC? Keith's like, buy it now, build it now. You don't know what's going to happen. So I build my PC. I looked up AMD parts. I build it. I'm set. I'm good to go. And I look at it now like, holy snap! I saved myself from like the future hellhole I'm in. I got in that door last. Oh man, I squeaked out.
It's bad. It's bad. It's normally I would tell somebody, yeah, get into PC gaming, go ahead, buy yourself some cheap parts, get started, then you upgrade as you go. And I was like, I don't know. I don't want to say go buy a console, not that I'm against console, but at one point in time, PC gaming was the better buy. Now it's like, But then
now it's a toss-up, which is the weird thing.
Right, like go buy a PlayStation. I wouldn't tell anybody to buy a PlayStation 5 now. I tell them buy a Pro, especially all the stuff they're doing with the Pro. I say go buy a Pro, but a Pro is $750.
Yep.
What? Gaming is expensive. We're just going to slice it down the middle, guys. Gaming is now expensive. Before we were complaining about games being $89. Now we got to worry about just getting the stuff to play the games. They're expensive.
By the way, and I'm going to talk from some market standpoint. This shrinks the market. You have less people buying it, less people buying in. It's more expensive. The market, if it's too expensive for Johnny Donuts to get a standard functional PC play game, Johnny Donuts is not going to buy a game. Johnny Donuts can't buy games. You have one less person buying games. Times it by 1 million. Here you go.
Yeah. And people aren't understanding this. I don't want to be the guy that's like doom and gloom, but as I mentioned before, this is going to kill a lot of people. Not killing people, but companies that build PCs are going to go out of business. Companies that even small businesses that need to buy computers are going to go out of business. If I can't buy a computer for my staff, okay, then all right, well, it's going to cost me more to buy this one computer, so maybe I don't hire these two people now.
Yeah.
Or maybe I need to let these two people go. Small businesses run on computers. And if they can't get memory and they can't get processors and they can't get hard drive or they can't get the machine itself, what are they supposed to do? And even think about this going further. Say you have memory that's a warranty. All right. Say you bought memory from Best Buy. You got the 2-year plan. I forgot what it's called, right? And your memory dies. All right. You spent $200 for that memory. Fantastic. Best Buy is like, here's your money back. Go buy some memory. But now the memory is $600. You're not going to be able to buy any memory now. Best Buy is not going to go, well, it went up, so sorry. We're not going to give you $600 memory. We're going to give you back your $200, so you go buy $200 worth of whatever. This is impacting a lot. People are just like, oh, it's just my gaming. No, it is impacting everything right now.
Yeah, plus it doesn't help with the whole AI data center buyout where they're trying to buy even more like land and stuff to actually build these data centers on. So it's going to be another whole thing of just like real estate's going to go down the tube. You're going to have more things that are going to go down the tube than just PC gaming. Because, yeah, PCs run a lot of things. They can also run servers through parts. And if you don't have the money for those server parts, sucks to be you.
Yep. It's a terrible time. And I'm sorry. It seems like we keep bringing up this on the podcast like every other week, but I'm trying to.
It's not bad. I'm
trying to reach through the screen or through the audio and strangle you to get you to understand. I'm doing a Homer Simpson on Bart Simpson. You need to understand. I'm trying to explain this to you. If you see memory, if you see hard drives for cheap, buy them. I went to Micro Center 2 weeks ago, and I need a hard drive space for my NAS. I spent, I bought 3 12 terabyte Seagate drives for $299, which kicked my butt. But I was glad I did because I came back 3-4 days ago to go back down and see that anymore. I said, I'll buy one more, right? Gone.
Jeez.
All of it gone. I asked the people, said, what happened? That somebody came in and bought them all. So now it's just $400 or $500 hard drives if they get any more back in. This is terrible, and I don't want to get political and go, the government could have stepped in and stopped this, but they're not doing it because they got their hands in the pie and they're making money off of it, so they don't care.
Only we had regulations on this crap or something.
Wow, but if you see memory, buy it. If you're thinking about buying that PC you see in the store, buy it. Even if you're not going to use it right now, buy it. If it's going to hurt your budget a little bit, guess what? It's going to hurt your budget less if you don't buy it.
The worst part, what's happening is I'm a numbers guy, I'm an econ guy, and what you're suggesting scares me because you're just kind of suggesting pre-hoarding or future hoarding for technology for the future because you may not get it. And it's like, shouldn't we be at a point in like as a functional economy? Again, please don't laugh at me. A functional economy where we produce something at a consistent base where this shouldn't be happening.
I'm laughing at you because what you're saying right now, you're trying to push out logic. But logic isn't working right now because if logic was working, we would not be in this position.
Oh, man.
Yeah, explain that to the hardware people who are getting out of actually consumer producing this and only going into data producing it.
If only
that makes
rationality.
Me mad. The consumers are the ones who made you who you were, and you're like, I don't care about you anymore. Bye.
We're going to put all our parts into AI. No! No, you're not.
So... if you see it, buy it. Sorry, yes, you have to do it now. It sucks. You'll thank me later. Or don't. And then be like,
or just don't get into PC gaming.
No, you can't. It's gone. And if you think that next Xbox, whatever the hell that's going to be, the next PlayStation, it's going to be any cheaper, and people keep saying, oh, it's going to be under $1,000. You keep thinking that. We keep thinking that. It's not. You think they get their stuff on cheap? When the hardware companies are telling you, I want $3,000 for 2 sticks of memory or a couple chips. The fab process got better. The price just went up. I want more money. What are they going to tell you? No. They're going to go, that's fine. We're going to pass it on to our customers. That's cool.
Yeah, we'll just give it to OpenAI to make more data centers.
We'll make more data centers or whatever. God.
Let's not even talk about OpenAI. That's not even talk about those.
Let's not even get into that. Speaking of things to talk about, or at least things I could say that openly is good news, or less than not, we could pass the buck on. Jeff Kaplan is back. I thought he went off to the sunset. He came back with the Lex Friedman interview, and then he started talking about his new game, and then his stream for his new game. It's been a lot, but. What do you want to focus on first? We want to talk about his time at Blizzard, or we talk about his somewhat spicy gamer takes. Which one we're going with today?
We need to talk about his time at Blizzard because that is more important because it's an eye opener.
It's honestly heartbreaking, honestly, because like you read the interviews and like you feel the passion from him, and he said things like, "I never imagined myself leaving Blizzard. I never imagined myself changing to any company. I don't even plan on retiring. I want to work at Blizzard like till the day I die." And then like you just see that process and that journey just sour and become like so dark, and like so many decisions that like people made that he just didn't agree with, and then it was just like, nope, I'm out. Like I was actually like one of the craziest things I saw was the whole like Overwatch League stuff. And like, there was like one quote where it was like someone was trying to convince them that Overwatch League was going to be more popular than the NFL. And I was like, oh my.
I remember that. That was crazy. It's esports. I'm like Ryan, Ryan, I don't know if you seem like a guy who's dabbled in some league in his time. You got to dabble in some league. I'm just joking. But like even as popular as certain like games like League, CS:GO, or I would even say Valorant now. I think Valorant's got really popular. They're not taking like, come on, my guy, chill with that. Chill on me.
You know what really hurt Overwatch? When that right there, when they tried to make it esports. When Overwatch came out, it was the shit. It was a lot of us who played that game.
Yes.
We played it daily and like, we loved it. And then Blizzard's like, oh no, we got to change this to be esports. And I was like, oh, here we go. And then it was like, we're doing Overwatch 2. And I was like, this is going to suck. And then I played it for a little bit. And I was like, I'm done. I am completely done. They don't care about us anymore. And then they slowly tried to roll it back. No, it's too late. Nobody wants this now. And does anybody
there are a couple of things that killed Overwatch. And I can go into a 9-hour conversation about the balance decision, aka Genji being God for so long, and goats and all that.
From day one.
He was God from day one. Yeah, he was God from like that running joke, like Naruto running. I could joke about Brigitte goats killing the game. I could talk about Zarya, the healing, and that's a whole.
Stacking the bastions on the
stacking bastion cart in the early days. Yeah, that's crazy stuff. But I think one of the things that truly
bastion with 2 Reinhardts.
Oh yeah, 2 right. Yeah. We before we had hero limits. Yeah, those were the days. But I think what really killed Overwatch, in my opinion, was I want to say when Jeff Kaplan had that interview, he spoke to Lex, and he told him that one day he was called in the office because he saw, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and Overwatch was like the beginning of like the bad times, but he knew it was over, at least in my mind. So it was over when he got called into the CFO's office. This guy works at Warner Music, by the way. I'm going to call you out, you bastard. Anyway, so you called him and says, yeah, if you don't make this much money, XXX, I'm firing 1,000 people every time. At that moment, it was over. I knew it was over. That's when I knew it's over. Once I heard, because my disagreement with Jeff Kaplan was the game of balance decisions. And why is this character top tier? Or, I hate to say it, Cassidy, formerly McCree, how could this character keep doing stun headshot combos all day? I hate that. But that was just game stuff. What killed the game was that method, and that's why they pumped out all those skins and everything else, and that's why they don't make original skins as much anymore, because they have to meet the money metrics. And I'm like, all right, it's done. This game became a cash pump. That man killed this game. So
when he said that, I was like, I literally sat there and my jaw dropped, and I'm like, how do you even? What kind of scumbag are you to even say that to somebody? When one, it's not just. How am I going to control that? How am I going to control the game being popular? How?
Because these guys were riding their own high. They were like, Overwatch League's going to take over the future. We'll get billions of esports money, get all this money. Overwatch League having funding problems. You were trying to make the game competitive. Then you had balancing issues because, to counter this, you counter that. Again, Ghosts existing. Personally, I don't mind Ghosts as much, but I know Ghosts is bad for a lot of people. You had that to deal with, and you had content not coming out, and then Jeff is like, I had this PvP idea for Overwatch 2, and then here we are in 2026. That's all I gotta say.
It's unfortunately hasn't aged well. Like it still holds truth to this day, and I don't mean that in a good way. Like there's all of his like commentary about the like whole they're like, let's make lots of money really fast, and like a lot of that mindset and a lot of those practices, like it's still here. There's so many games that are trying to do the exact same thing, and it's just not making a good experience for anyone. Like it's a lose-lose. No one's winning.
Yeah, and the worst part about that, Ryan, is that like they're still trying to chase the dragon, and they will see a mountain of games and development studios and people just broken and destroyed, discarded. Yeah, let's do it again. After the 9th billionth time, maybe that's not a good idea.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
It really is. It really is. But we can. You want to talk about some good news, or you got something to say there, Keith?
No, I was going to say let's move on to the good news. So, yeah,
we got some good news. Spider-Man's back. Peter Parker's life is over. His girlfriend dumped him. We're in there, baby.
No, we're not done with Jeff. We got to go back to Jeff.
We're going back to Jeff's part, Peter Parker.
We're not.
All right. Well, Peter Parker's life is over. Okay.
We still got to talk about Jeff because that was the bad stuff. Jeff said, we'll let you go. Oh, no, about it, whatever. But Jeff is now working on a new game, Legend of California. People need to look out for it. It looks pretty promising. And he's been doing a lot of steering of the game. He's been QAing the game, showing the game out to a lot of people, answering people's questions and talking about the game. And he actually had a nice little conversation. Was it last week? Was it last week? It was last week.
I think
it was sometime last week. Yeah, sometime last week. Yeah,
where he was streaming the game and he was just talking about how he's not a fan of the free-to-play process because it doesn't really help a lot of.
Right. I'm gonna. You mind if I read the quote because I have it saved up?
No, do it.
Yeah. So the quote he says is that this is Jeff on talking about monetization. This is what exact words. It's like a crazy idea that hasn't been seen in the past 10 years. Maybe I could play the game to get shit. To be free to play, you need 8 billion players and 2,000 discs cranking out fucking keychains like a sweatshop. That's not us. And this is his opinion, like why his newest game will not be free to play. He's not interested in that model. And the sad part is that I agree with him on that model. I think that a lot of it also that free to play model has created, I would say, psychological abuse of some people. Scott, you play a lot of gacha games, and you got me to playing Arknight Enfield. Arknight Enfield has not abused my wallet whatsoever. And what's crazy about it. Yeah, which is a good thing. And I find out like a lot of criticism from Arknights, even people with the numbers, like, well, you just can't, you can't roll as much as you want to. I'm like, you're just addicted to gambling. You're just an addict. This is not good for you.
They want to see those bright lights.
Yeah, exactly. We hit the lights. It's not good for you. Go touch some grass, get some help. But yeah, like the idea of like this free-to-play models to constantly game people, to force them to play, has caused damage to the point that some people, regardless of whatever, think it's normalized. And when they play a game that's not trying to rip them off, they think it's bad.
I at the least really appreciate the transparency on it, because it's like we've seen people try to do it before. Like on paper, there are some benefits, but it's like, hey, let me just spell it out for you very clearly. This is why we cannot do it. And it's nice having that like more like candid but internal perspective on it, you know?
This is pretty crazy. I mean, if you want me to, Keith, you want me to start reading more quotes what he said? Because I have it all saved up because they were really great quotes.
Please. I think
I have more quotes.
That was a quality conversation he was having.
Yeah. So another quote he said was during his chat, somebody asked him during the alpha. And by the way, I did watch the stream. He uploaded OBS, ran. The audio quality was shot, but who cares? Okay, I've written it down. I had people written it down too. Like he was a streamer. He's a real streamer now. So someone in his chat asked him about Q&A before the alpha, and Jeff jokingly said in a joking tone, "You're talking to Q&A right now. This is Saturday. This is when Q&A happens. Welcome to the 34-person studio." And then he later on literates, "I miss everything about Blizzard, but dear God, Blizzard's Q&A and Blizzard cinematics. If I could take two things from Blizzard, be those things." Which is like his QA department is open on the weekends. That's why they do Q&A on the weekends. So that's crazy. That's just crazy. And it's just crazy. So how do you guys feel about like him just saying, "Yeah, I'm doing Q&A right now. This is Q&A."
I respect the candidness. I respect the candidness.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you kind of learn when you go independent of just how much the overarching like publisher does for you that will help you out.
Yep.
And that's one of the reasons why, like, when you do see like people who do go independent from big publishers, that their first initial impressions can be a bit rough. They don't have like all the PR that works for them. They don't have all like the smooth editors or the smooth QA that makes things look better. So they have to basically work from ground one on creating and polishing a game.
Yeah, that's very true. And speaking of indie dev problems, this is one of my favorite quotes from his the stream. He said he openly confirmed that The Legend of California is in his I believe one of his co-owners or his like co-director. The guy was next to him, the guy called Bill, I believe. He's like the dev server is in Bill's closet. He said, yeah, in Bill's closet. He said that for Bill. He said when I worked at Blizzard, they had a whole lot of amazing data centers with tons of servers. Here at Kitsu Yagamiya, which I'm assuming is the studio name, we're 34 people and a development server is in Bill's closet. The server is his closet. And then the server kind of crashed in between midstream. And then it's pretty hilarious. So yeah.
I would Bill not to put his server in the closet. It gets hot.
Right.
Yeah, and you want to have something with ventilation.
And here's where it gets crazier. People joke that, as you guys pointed out, that he did that. Someone joked in chat, and I written it down saying that the Bob's cat, Bill's cat, Boba bit the wires. Like, no, dude, it overheated. It overheated. But I would say that one of the more spicier takes there's a couple of spicy takes and emotional takes. You guys want an emotional take or a spicy take? Because I have tons of them saved.
We want both. Why not?
Why not both? Okay. All right. We're gonna go with the spicy take first. I'm gonna get emotional here. So one of his spicy takes that may have caught a lot of people in the internet space ablaze is he said that this is Jeff's idea of like gaming or gaming media or how the landscape's become. I have some blah 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 in and out of it, but I'll lead with it. So he says that if a game comes out and you don't want to play it and you've never played it, shut the fuck up. No one cares.
Sounds like something I would say, huh?
It's not difficult to shit on something. Apparently, it takes a lot of courage to say, I actually like this thing. And I agree the second half, because how many times I tell people I love point-and-click adventure games? How many times I'm annoying half of you guys to get on fucking Deadlock? Seriously, Deadlock in right now. Right now, Deadlock in, baby. Let's go. But no, I agree with this. I feel like this is one of the reasons why that, like, I talked to Keith about this and I'll say this on the podcast. I don't want to do negative reviews of games. I don't want to review games in negative light because it's just easy to crap on it and it doesn't help anybody. I think that a negative review can be helpful or critiqued right, but the way negative reviews have become, they've become but just dumping on a game now. Nobody gives real critique. It's just, haha, game bad. Some games aren't just that bad, by the way.
Whoa. We do negative reviews and we critique, right? Maybe they just, I don't know.
Never heard of us. You know how it is. But the thing is that a lot of there's a difference between like negative reviews and the reviews nowadays. We talked about earlier, Mr. Mystery Journalist man. If he's not a journalist, it's bad faith, and that kind of bothers me a lot. I take this a little grain of salt, but I understand where it's coming from because there are some games you could just look at and you know it's not good. Playing it, it looks like crap. And like, oh wow, it was crap, and it happens, right? You don't not feeding a bias, like like for all intents and purposes. Let's not beat around the bush here, like. High Guard, after day one, that game was not going anywhere, buddy. That game was completely undercooked. That you didn't need to like get into that, but stuff like that. But I think it's very interesting how he just addressed it, but just say open like that. Nah, no F's given. Like I don't care.
I really don't want to talk about High Guard anymore, but we get the idea. I'm just using an example. A game that was bad that No, I was just going to add in just real quick. Not to discredit anything you said. You're right. I just really do think that High Guard, there's a lot of stuff that we don't know about. And the fact that it was brought to light that Tencent was actually funding the game kind of makes you go, so what exactly happened here? And
do you want to hear something crazy? Apparently they only had one concept artist and they told her to do what they said, and then like later on that it was mismanagement across the board, apparently. From Tencent to the people running the game, at least from all the information that was coming out. That's been released as of today.
That's what I was about to say. This is why it's gonna be one of those. It's going to be a documentary that gets released 10 years from now talking about everything that happened, and people are going to go, oh, but not now.
Yeah, so this is Jeff giving a nice soft spot about something, and this is something hurts my heart because I'll talk about it later, but it's something I agree with as a team thing. But he got emotional talking about his team, his creative team he's been working with, and people's been having his back for years because Jeff was not having a good time. Look, the NDA, what Blizzard did to him, let's all in a nutshell, was not good for his health. But he said this with heavy words. He says his team, they came from amazing studios and they were getting bonuses every 6 months. They haven't gotten shit for 4 years working on this. They gave up all because they believed in the dream. I like to see them recognized for something, but not as an expense that players feel like they're being taken advantage of. And this is him talking about, like, essentially, I want to pay my team what they owed. I want to pay what they owed. I want to run the time, but I don't want to, like, cheat the experience that people are paying for the game I have right here. I want to give a good experience, not only to the gamer, the customer, us, who may play this game, but I want my employees who worked on this game, who has been working on this game with little to no pay, to be compensated properly for this. Just what it is, man. That sounds like a goddamn leader to me. I mean, shoot, I wish I was compensated for my IRL job for all the late nights I've been doing taxes for.
If only.
So I'm looking forward to see what he has. And I appreciate everything that he said. I appreciate him shedding light on Blizzard because people always thought Blizzard was, or at least old Blizzard was this fantastic company where rainbows and everything happened.
No, and that's the sad.
Not what happened, guys.
It's not, and it kind of makes me sad because it's like it reminds me of like in my mind like old Bethesda, new Bethesda, like before Todd Howard, etc., or like Blizzard now. It's like I like Blizzard, I like what else, but I look at it now. It's like, you know what? They're not those guys anymore, and it's obvious. And I think that like Jeff Kaplan opening it up and like with it, like, and by the way, if you've seen a Lex Freeman interview or read the transcripts, you can hear the pain in his voice, the legitimate pain. It's crazy. And I'm like, man, they've really broke you, huh? Oh, I feel this. You know what? I hate you for game design reasons. I don't hate you as a person. Oh, my God. Also, seriously, should have nerfed Genji. But anyway, that's here and there. It's here and there.
All right, now we can talk about
Peter Porker. Yeah, we're talking about Peter Porker. It's time for Spider-Man. His life is over. His girlfriend dumped him. No job. He's broke. Great times. This is going to be the best Spider-Man movie ever. Do you guys agree or not? We're so back.
Did everybody watch the trailer yet?
I did.
Yeah.
Okay, Ryan, I didn't hear you. Did you watch it?
I have, yes.
Okay. So, Spider-Man Brand New Day is the official kickoff for a new trilogy of Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland coming back as Spider-Man because Marvel and Sony made it happen because Sony was doing shit with Spider-Man again. So, do you want to break down the trailer? You want to talk about the cool parts? Because every part's cool. Literally, I'm a big Spider-Man fan. Everything I saw here was like, holy shit.
There is a ton of just little things that keep just like building up. Like there is a lot in the trailer, especially if you're a big Spider-Man fan.
I think for me, the most exciting part about this movie is just like it feels like a very big 180. It feels like a very big tone shift, but I think that's I think it's in a cool way. I don't mean that in a bad way. I really mean like this feels like a more like we're gonna see Peter crack, we're gonna see him crumble, and like I look forward to that. It's gonna be a heart wrencher, and I'm excited for that. Honestly,
yeah,
it's cool because they've gone back and they've taken stuff from a lot of the comics, and the biggest one is The Other. And people are like, oh, Spider-Man's doing all this cool stuff. Where's he getting it from? Like, have you not read The Other? They literally said the rebirth of Spider-Man. The Other? Have you read it?
Yeah.
You should probably go read it. But I know most of these people nowadays have not read comics.
Yeah.
Bro, look, there's many reasons why people have read comics outside of the whole thing. As a comic guy, and I have to respect it, the medium is now more. Look, the comics industry, how much money it makes less money than certain top-selling manga in Japan and the United States. The comic industry is a lot smaller than we give a lot of credit to. Also, please support Absolute Superman. That's a really good one, please. Okay, all right, I gotta put one shout out.
Absolute Superman. All the absolutes are good. All of them, please.
Yeah,
please.
I have disagreements, but I will support it in unison. Okay,
you don't like Absolute Batman?
No, I don't. I don't think it's good.
Oh, okay. What about
Wonder Woman is solid art. I love the art on Absolute Wonder Woman, but we'll get into that later. But seriously, Absolute Superman though.
Yeah, there's so much going on in this trailer, and obviously we'll be here all day just talking about everything. So I'll paraphrase a lot of the stuff. The stuff coming from the comics. Peter Parker's going through a bad time. Typical Peter Parker stuff. For those who remember the last Spider-Man movie, he asked Doctor Strange to make everybody forget about him, which also happened in the comics. Surprise. And everybody forgot who Peter Parker Spider-Man was. So now he's by himself. He's all alone. His best friend, Ned, his girl, MJ, is going to MIT, and he's looking at them going, damn, what did I do? Sad puppy dog eyes. Obviously, we see a lot of things happening here as well. We see the Punisher is it's being introduced into the movie. For those who watch the new season of Daredevil and wonder why Punisher wasn't coming back, hey, he's busy. He's busy doing this. So Frank is here.
Frank's a good guy. He likes to talk to criminals in a polite manner.
I always like the Punisher. I think sometimes he's over. It depends on who's writing him.
No,
Like,
look,
that's true for like every comic character.
it kind of does. In my opinion, a recommendation for anyone a good Punisher run, look up Punisher Max Garth Ennis's run. Those are fantastic. Recommend reading them. That's an easy recommendation. Easy recommendation from Gitsilius.
Stay the hell away from Frankencastle. Don't go near that.
Frankencastle is fun if you are willing to accept it's stupid. I mean that seriously. If you accept the stupidity, you're in the dross. If you can't, it's not for you.
Don't read it. Don't read it. It has nothing to do with the Punisher. Please don't read it. It's terrible. But Punisher's in here, and obviously in the trailer we can see that Peter and Frank have some kind of relationship because they're talking to each other. The banter, they know each other. They've worked with each other, which is going to be interesting to see. We've got the Hand, which is like, okay, why is Peter fighting the Hand? That's going to be interesting. Does that mean we're going to see Daredevil in here as well? He was in the past movie. We could see him again.
He's a good lawyer.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite things about this trailer is it kind of shows that all the things that all the Defender stuff was going on in New York. Now we have Spider-Man kind of interacting with that. So there's actually a lot of things that are kind of combining to happen because there's been so much stuff going in basically where they're all like fragmented. And now we actually get to see the buildup of what's going to actually happen when everything comes together.
So we got Bruce Banner. He's in here. He is now Bruce and not Smart Hawk. And so if you're wondering why that is the thing, you have to watch She-Hulk to find that out.
Yeah.
For those who didn't watch it, he was trying to figure out how to turn back to normal, and he figured it out. So he has this thing on his arm that helps him, which is also taken from the comics. Not from Bruce himself, but Red Hawk.
Yep.
When Red Hawk could, it was Thaddeus Thunderbolt. He could only turn into Red Hawk like once a day. I think they got rid of that. I don't remember.
It's a whole game. Look, I'm not gonna get. Look,
it's the whole thing.
It's a whole thing. The only thing is that, like, personally, as a comics guy, when anybody mentioned Defenders, I've been like, "Where's Doctor Strange?" You look at me like I'm a crazy person because I know who I'm talking to at that point. Where's Beast? Where's Doctor Strange? Where's Damian Hellbag? Where Defenders? Where's Patsy Walker Hellcat? And I see Luke Cage punching the streets. But no, I do like how it's like they bring it together. It's like it's. One of the things I give a lot of credit for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I mean this politely, they do reward you for watching a bunch of stuff together. And I kind of like that, like other shows, or this is, jokingly why I'm a Legend of Heroes fan. I get rewarded for playing the games.
Yes.
Yeah. So I definitely find that cool. The only character I hope they put in there, is I always stand by this. Put my boy D-Man or Peter Porker in there. Peter Porker.
Yes, not going to happen.
Peter Porker might be in the trilogy, but probably not in this movie.
Exactly.
We have to wait for
trilogy.
You have to wait for the last part of Across the Spider-Verse to get Peter Porker back.
Oh, that you guys have a joke. Yeah.
Where the hell was that? Where? It should have been out
eventually, soon. Yeah.
It'll be out when it's ready.
It'll be out when it's ready.
Hurt the animators again.
There's so much stuff in this brand new day trailer. If you have not seen it and you're a fan of Spider-Man or just a fan of good movies, go watch it. I think this is going to be yet another. All the Spider-Man movies have been good. But the new ones have been really special.
None of them have missed. I mean, I think a lot of people had worries about Tom Holland early, but he displayed that because he's actually good, So that was great.
Yeah.
So I got nothing but high hopes for this, and I also have high hopes they make a reference to Doreen Green. I hope she comes out too, but that's just me. Best girl, so? Doreen Green.
I don't know about that.
You know about that? Look, man, they're gonna. Only squirrels, yeah. She eats nuts and kicks butts, and she broke the fourth dimension. She defeated Doom and Thanos.
But not
the best off-screen fighter in Marvel.
For those who are wondering who the hell Doreen Green is, that is Squirrel Girl. He did. I don't know why he didn't say Squirrel Girl. It's Squirrel Girl.
I'm waiting for people to realize you have to
Only the real ones know. He's testing them.
He's testing. He knows that the real one.
I don't know who she hasn't beat yet. She was the babysitter for Luke Cage. She's had a lot of things.
Well, she also technically in a comic post was a joke. She did beat Thor in arm wrestling contest. That's a joke, but you know what? What are jokes and nothing but continuity, right?
And there's also a cool thing in the trailer if you watch towards the end where Peter makes his way into, I guess it's a college party or something. And he makes his way into the room with Ned. And then MJ comes in and he's like, "Oh, I'm just a neighbor." And then he says, "A friendly neighbor," and he kind of
like,
okay. People are like, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So many things in there. It's
with that scene's also fun because you could. I'm guessing it's either Ned's or MJ's room because the entire thing is construed like a conspiracy board with Spider-Man on it.
Yeah.
It's like they've been trying to figure out why they're so attached to Spider-Man or something that they don't know who he is.
And that's the thing I want to see, because it's like, hey, I made you forget everybody, or everybody forgets you. And it's like, you ever know that the movies or TV shows or animes or show whatever, and the person's supposed to forget everybody, or the people are supposed to forget who that person is, and it's like in the back of their head, I know that person. And that's exactly going to happen. I don't want Peter getting back with MJ. I want him to suffer. And people
see, that's what I'm saying. Like you have no idea how many memes I saw of they just showing him crying and suffering. There's even a meme of him looking on his phone, and you see like MJ busy. He just jumps off the building. I respect it. Yo, Spider-Man fans are eating good. We don't care about his marriage. Like we want this man to suffer like a real New Yorker. I want his bagel get spit on.
When I say suffer, Spider-Man's. I'm going to say the wrong. I was going to say the wrong word. I was going to say a nice big word, but it's not bad. Spider-Man has always been about the struggle. It doesn't make a difference how many times he gets happy. It gets ripped away from him. He gets married.
Yeah.
It gets ripped away from him, because he had to save his Aunt May. That cost him his marriage with MJ. That cost him his child that he saw in the same comic run.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, she's never going to be now because you gave it all. Wait, what? And then we never know.
He lost the ability to join the Avengers. He lost his business. He lost his the only time he was happy to talk to Octavius. He loses a lot of things, but the suffering is fun, yo. People, we ain't here to see him. We're here to get this man down.
because Spider-Man never breaks. Peter Parker never breaks.
Yeah.
He never breaks. Even when he gets to the point where it's like, no, he's done. He never breaks. He always comes back and go, no.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you guys. If somebody hits the gritty when he gets dumped by Mary Jane mid movie, I'm gonna say I called it. It'd be the greatest celebration of all time.
No,
hit by gritty.
that's not happening.
Yeah, someone's gonna hit the gritty.
No. I want another love interest to come in. I'm like, sorry.
Felicia Hardy.
I was gonna say,
honestly,
awesome.
that'd probably be the one I would choose. Would be Felicia Hardy.
I'm sorry. If it was between Felicia and MJ, it's Felicia. Sorry.
Look, like if you, I don't think Gwen's a good idea. I think Gwen is too old school. We tried Gwen in the Amazing Spider-Man duology, so I think it's time for Felicia.
Gwen in the Spider-Verse.
Exactly, leave Gwen in the Spider-Verse. Yeah, we can get Felicia. But when Felicia's up him, we are hitting that gritty though, right, Ryan? You hitting that gritty? You want to hit the gritty. If Felicia dumps him, you consider the gritty.
Yeah.
All right.
Especially because like the thing with like Brand New Day is it seems like Spider-Man is having the time of his life and Peter Parker is absolutely just having not the time of his life as everything's happening, because he's like, oh, you're like the best superhero in Manhattan. You now have the key to the city. They trust you with literally everything, and all this like great stuff is happening. And then as Peter Parker is just like, he's a loner. And like anytime he tries to even make friends, it's just awkward because like I know this person, but I don't know this person because they don't know me. And so it's just like one of those things that just it always like one of the big things in Spider-Man thing is every time like Spider-Man is on top, Peter Parker is always on the bottom. And anytime he focuses on Peter Parker, Spider-Man stuff kind of goes crappy.
I mean, that's a Sinister Six arc. That's a Sinister Six arc in a nutshell. They dreamed up, they beat up Spider-Man, but Spider-Man's also like, well, depending which Sinister Six arc. There's one of them, he becomes Venom. There's the classic one. There's the best Sinister Six arc, which I consider written by Dan Slott, my boy. Big time, baby. Recommend that run. But it depends. Yeah, I agree with that assessment. But yeah, I already practiced. You guys can't see me, but I'm actually practicing my gritty Dan steps. I'm getting ready to hit it.
oh boy.
I'm getting ready.
Again, just a couple comic book people geeking over Spider-Man. Comes out July
I know,
21st.
seriously. Yeah, he's
coming out sooner than we expected. This summer it has a lot of bangers.
Yeah, we're in good times.
We also didn't talk about Tarantula making an appearance, or
that's a possibility. That's a possibility. I don't think they'll put Silk in there.
We didn't talk about that. There's a lot of stuff being there, and maybe the possibility that maybe that was Rogue or wasn't Rogue on the bus.
Yeah. They do. I think my favorite thing about this trailer is how like vague everything shows you. So it's just like you're questioning every single scene of this trailer, because there's a lot in like every little shot that they do. Like everything that in this trailer has you thinking of like, oh, this could be it, or this could be it, or this could be it. Like this is probably one of the best trailers that I've seen for a Spider-Man movie, just because of how well it's directed and how much it's just like inviting you to be like, what is going to happen?
Especially the part in the movie in the trailer where there's a room and the walls are slowly going up into the ceiling, and that's the person who's strapped into the chair. And you're like, who's that? And then they don't show you. They show you the close up and the hands in the chair. That's clearly a woman. And they goes, sorry, we're not showing you who it is.
Figure it out. You'll have to watch the movie.
So, yeah, looking forward to Spider-Man, July 31st. I think I'm going to see it twice.
It's going to be great. Yeah.
It's going to be a fun time. It's gonna be a fun time. It's gonna be a fun time for the whole family. We'll get our steps in, Everyone get their steps in. But man, I think
every day.
Yeah, trust me. Some people won't know this, but honestly, now we're getting our steps in. We got to get on stepping out. And I want to say this politely. Thank you, everyone, for who has been listening to Spectator Mode Podcast episode 214. That's right, 214, baby. We're in the big one. And I appreciate each and every one of you for listening to the podcast. If you haven't already, be sure to follow us and the Outerhaven on Blue Sky. Subscribe to us on YouTube and check out Spectator Mode Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Buzzsprout, Spotify, and wherever podcasts are hosted. This is Get Silius, Civ Scott, Keith Mitchell, and Ryan signing out for the Outerhaven. I hope to see you guys in the next one.
See ya.
Later.